Buenas noches. My name is Altamirano, and I am a newly appointed president of SEIU Local 26. We are a union of 9,000 property service workers, janitors, window cleaners, airport service workers, security officers, and the retail workers that clean your local Targets. I am a president who, according to our local history, is
louder.
All right, so I am the first Latina president elected to, I believe, the labor movement, labor leader in the state, if I'm not mistaken. And the only reason that I share that with you, right, is because that is a big thing. I am honored to have this position and to be truly a worker of the workers. But I share that more because it's 2019 and there should not be first anything anymore. But I also want to share with you a little bit of my upbringing. So I'm originally from South Texas. I'm of the families who didn't go anywhere. On my dad's side of the family, the saying is, the border crossed us, we didn't cross the border. And so I share that because, you know, a lot of times, right, we are made to believe that Latinos are new, right? New immigrants coming to the United States, but that's not really the case. Latinos have been in the United States for a long time. You know, immigration has been around for a long time, and we're not new. But on my mother's side, I am come from a mixed status family, and for the first half or the early 80s, I was afraid. I would go to school and I was afraid that I wasn't gonna come home to my mom. And that's something that our children go through every day. The children at my local go through that. And then things kind of changed. There was a path to legalization. She was able to become the janitor of my school. And full circle right now, I'm president of the Janitors Union. But I share that because, you know, there's so many like contradictory things, right, going on right now, and like I'm so happy to be in this space and sharing tonight with you for a common thing. But at the same time, I wish that the reason why we're all together was so different.
Yes.
I wish that the children and in these detention centers, like, we're actually having good nights, right? Because they're not. And this is so painful because, you know, we are showing up as co-directors of really powerful organizations, presidents of really powerful organizations, executive directors of really powerful organizations, but really we're here as women of color who see those images and very easily see Teo and Miranda and Carlos. And it's painful, but how this regime, they really know how to get us where it really hurts. But it's fuel. It's fuel for me. And I know that it's fuel for every single one of you too, because you wouldn't be here if it wasn't fuel for you. And we are in the fight of our lives. We really are. So power up, fuel up, because we're gonna have to do things that have never been asked of us to do. And I'm up for the challenge, and I know that you are too.
and it's gone on far too long, and we won't be silent anymore, and we won't be silent anymore. What you say, Win? And we won't be silent anymore.
Thank you very much for that wonderful music. Can we just give another round of applause for the amazing singers? Thank you. Good evening, everybody. My name is Maria Regan Gonzalez, and I'm the first Latina mayor in Minnesota's history. And thank you. And I'm proud to represent the city of Richfield.
Good evening, I'm Melissa Lopez Franzen. I'm a senator for District 49, and I see the Puerto Rican flag over there, and the reason I'm shouting out is because I'm Boricua. And I'm the first Latina elected in my district, and I happen to have a privilege of being born and raised in Puerto Rico, which is part of the United States, if you didn't know. So I'll start with the first story. And I'm also a mother of a 2.5-year-old and a 4-year-old tomorrow's birthday. I was given a blanket and a mattress, but then at 3 a.m., the guards took the blanket and mattress. My baby was left sleeping on the floor. In fact, almost every night, the guards wake us at 3 o'clock in the morning and take away our sleeping mattresses and blankets. They leave babies, even little babies of 2 or 3 months, sleeping on the cold floor. For me, because I'm so pregnant, sleeping on the floor is very painful for my back and hips. I think the guards act this way to punish us. Age 17, female.
And we have a couple other people here that are going to be sharing the testimonies from inside the border.
Good night, Monica Hurtado. Another story. They told us that we could only have one layer of clothing, and they threw away the rest of our clothes in the garbage. My baby got wet, and I had to take his pants off 2 days ago, and I have not been able to get any pants for him. Nos dijeron que solo podíamos tener una capa de ropa y tiraron el resto de nuestra ropa a la basura. Mi bebé se mojó y tuve que quitarle los pantalones hace 2 días. No he podido conseguir ningún pantalón.
They took us away from our grandmother, and now we are all alone. They have not given us to our mother. We have been here for a long time. I have to take care of my little sister. She is very sad because she misses our mother and grandmother very much. We sleep on a cement bench. There are 2 mats in the room, but the big kids sleep on the mats, so we have to sleep on the cement bench.
We have only bathed once since being detained. On June 4th, we were taken to an area with about 28 showers. We bathed and we brushed our teeth. Since then, however, we have not been able to bathe. I have not been able to wash and clean my baby since June 4th. We do not have toothbrushes or toothpaste or towels in the cages. My daughter's onesie is very dirty, and I have not been able to wash it since June 4th.
Good night, everyone. My name is Daniel. Are we ready to fight back?
Yeah. Oh yeah!
Are we ready to protect our neighbors?
Oh yeah!
Good. Thank you everyone for being here today. Please bear with me. This testimony is very hard because it hits me. I was also in a cage for 24 hours. So when you hear the stories of all these children that are drinking water from toilets, that's true, because it happened to me. They tortured me mentally for 24 hours when I was in there with my two brothers. So they told me many times they were gonna take me away from them. So these children are going through hell, just like I did. So this is a testimony of a 12-year-old just like me. I am hungry here, clean all the time. I am so hungry that I wake up in the middle of the night with hunger. Sometimes I wake up with hunger at 4 in the morning, sometimes at other hours. I am too scared to ask the officials here for more food, even though there is not enough food here for me. Tengo tanta hambre aquí en Clean todo el tiempo. Tengo tanta hambre que me despierto en medio de la noche con hambre. A veces me despierto del hambre a las 4 de la mañana. A veces otras horas tengo demasiado miedo de pedirle a un oficial más comida. No hay suficiente comida para mí. So please, people, we need all of you. These children need all of you. And I am here as an undocumented Mexicano fighting for these children as well. So we need you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for all of those stories. My name is Karen Moratz. I'm the Executive Director of Jewish Community Action. My name is Karen Moratz. I'm the Director of Jewish Community Action. Thank you. I think many of us here tonight feel something when we hear those stories, and I think about my own community's history. It's been painful for many of us in the Jewish community to have our trauma and how we're allowed to talk about it used as a ploy and a distraction to keep us from fully engaging in the truth about what's being done to detainees in concentration camps. The truth is that many communities, many here tonight, many who've been on this land, have stories of detention and dehumanization, family separation, persecution, and genocide. And we can't allow ourselves to isolate those stories or to position them as unique and historical circumstances if it keeps us from seeing the warning signs and clear implications that it could be happening again. The purpose of remembering our pain is not to put it in a glass case, but to make sure that we stop and prevent the pain of others. When the Jewish community says never again, that must mean never again for anyone. I'm here tonight representing Jewish Community Action, who has worked for many years for humane immigration reform and justice for all immigrants. This is a priority for us as Jews. Our text, the Torah, is very clear on the treatment of the immigrant, the stranger. Among our commandments, this one is issued 36 times. More than any other topic, this is made clear and it is important. Exodus says, "You shall not wrong a stranger or oppress them, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt." Leviticus says, "The stranger who resides with you shall be to you as one of your citizens. You shall love them as yourself, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt." We are commanded many, many times to welcome the stranger and to love them as ourselves, for we were strangers once. And in this commandment, there are actually two jobs: to insist and to fight for the humane and compassionate treatment for all migrants, and to never forget where we came from or how we got to where we are. Now, immigration is not the story of all American Jews. Some of us come from families who are native to this land, and some of our families were brought here as enslaved people. But it is a story that many of us do share, and it has not always been easy or straightforward. We have been the stranger, and we have not been welcome. In the 1920s, the United States passed at the time, unprecedentedly restrictive immigration laws with the explicit aim of keeping out immigrants considered undesirable, specifically and especially Jews. The passage of those laws kept some Eastern European Jews from coming to the United States, but not all. Many came anyway. And it's estimated that in the decade before the Holocaust, tens of thousands of Jews fled to the United States from places like Russia and Poland to escape religious persecution, economic hardship, and violent pogroms. These were families like mine. They came even though the law did not welcome them. Of course they did. Many of us are here tonight because they did. And we remember and we welcome the stranger. But I've been told this is the faith part, not the political part. And it's meaningful. It's so meaningful to be speaking with you now as the sun is setting and we're beginning Shabbat. Shabbat, which begins at sundown on Friday and runs through just after sundown on Saturday, is our holiest day. It's our day of rest. And it's the day on which we end our week and we shrug off the week. For some it involves prayer, for some it involves reflection, or simply rest, but it is a day on which we Jews are commanded not to do what some might consider work. And at the time that was codified into the Ten Commandments, that was a radical idea. The Jewish people had just been freed from slavery, and we have now been commanded not to labor for 25 hours. And this is a moment of liberation, and it is a moment of justice. Right. On Shabbat, we are not workers and we are not bosses. We resist the idea of human capital and we cease to control the movements of any human. For Jewish Community Action, for me, Shabbat exists as a moment of social justice, a time to reflect and envision what a just world could look like. And I am so honored to be here with you all to begin it together. Now, we traditionally begin Shabbat by lighting candles. Many in our community are already in shul or at home doing that, and many of you are here and have missed the opportunity to do that. So as we light our candles, we're going to say the Shabbat candle blessing. And I'm going to say it, and if your observance indicates it, and if you so choose, I invite you to say it with me. Where's Imogen with the candles? On-air production meeting. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner Shabbat.
I'm Reverend Kelly Clement. I'm the Social Justice Minister at First Unitarian Society of Minneapolis. I am meant to offer a prayer here, but every word we have heard, every song we have sung has been the prayer that is needed tonight. The witness, the testimony that was just read from people who are suffering the incarceration, the detentions, that's the prayer. There are no words beyond that. So let me say to you, beautiful people, people of faith and people of no faith, may we use these lights to illuminate the history of resistance. May we use these lights to see in each other's faces a beautiful, mighty, weary, strong, scared, mighty, connected community. May we know that these lights we kindle tonight are joined with those at, we heard 788 other events, maybe millions of candles across the globe that say no more. Our humanity demands no more. Again and again and again across the history of humanity, we demand no more. Something is being illuminated here. For some of us, it's new. And for some people, you've been lighting the way for a long time. May we see in each other's faces the strength of the ancestors that has gone before, and continue the light, and continue the light, and continue the light. Say it with me. And continue the light, and continue the light, and continue the light. We will now have a couple of minutes of silence as we move into this time of vigil. Blessed be, and amen.
All right, everybody, that was 2 minutes. That's harder than it seems to stay silent that long. We have 2 other speakers that would like to say a brief word, and then we'll be done. And then I'll come back with next steps.
Okay. So my name is Daisy. I organize with Mirac, and I've also done work with Unidos. I wasn't prepared to talk, but I prepared something really brief, so I'm just gonna read it. There are so many people suffering in silence. We all need to start uplifting their stories. One story that I'll share with you all is the story of Gladys Weeks. She will show up before a judge who will determine her fate in 5 days at this very building. So that's Wednesday, July 17th. She came to this country when she was 1 year old. She's now 34 years old. She has a 7-year-old daughter, and she may find herself in Liberia, a country she hasn't been to for 33 years. I want to remind us all that laws are not always just. Some may argue that people like Gladys came to this country illegally. I'll tell them, what about the settlers who decided to kill for land, who decided to enslave Africans for power? What about the politicians who decided to kill immigrants by funding a border that kills? Institutions such as ICE and CBP that criminalizes black and brown bodies. Legality is not synonymous with morality. Pick a side. Complacency is not what we need. Our struggles are all connected, believe it or not. Immigration is not just an issue that happens here in the United States. It happens everywhere. And myself as a DACA recipient, some of my fellow activists here, they said that they're scared. I'm scared. And as I've always said, solidarity is what we need. Sorry. Okay.
Love you, Daisy.
Thank you. So I wish someone could help me finish, but I had the privilege of going to the border recently. Oh my gosh. And it's just, you're amazing. It's really sad to see what people actually go through. And not many people know what's going on at the border. And people die. People die. And so people may want to silence me. And before I went to the border, I wasn't as outspoken as I am now. Because I now realize how important it is for us to use our voice to help the less fortunate. Okay, I don't like being emotional, but so my organization, we are organizing a report back to talk about our experience at the border. It's going to be Monday, July 22nd at 7 p.m. at El Colegio High School. If you want more information, you can follow Mirak. And one thing I remember writing in my journal when we were at the border is I would sometimes just like randomly see a flower, and I was like, I get to come here and enjoy the beauty of a flower, where some immigrants, that's the last image that they saw before they died. So this is real. And that's all I wanted to say. Sorry for crying.
Hi everyone, my name is Nikki. I am a staff member for Congresswoman Ilhan Omar here in her district office. The Congresswoman, unfortunately, is not able to join in person tonight, but she is with you in spirit, and she asked me to read this letter here on her behalf. Dear friends, thank you for spending your Friday evening outside the ICE offices in Fort Snelling. While I'm unable to be with you in person this evening, I stand with you today and every day in the fight for immigration justice. This weekend, President Trump is set to begin immigration raids all over the country. He keeps talking about quote-unquote illegal immigrants, while ICE and Border Patrol continue to break numerous laws, violate international human rights standards, and violate core human principles of dignity and family unity. I could not be more disgusted by what this administration has done to target and attack people who are our friends, neighbors, and family. That is why I have repeatedly called for us to abolish ICE and establish a new agency that is accountable to Congress and to the public. We cannot allow a lawless, discriminatory agency to continue operating like it has been. Here in Minnesota, ICE is proposing to expand detention by hundreds of beds. The two places that are fighting to imprison more people have some of the worst records in our state and in our country. Instead of expanding expensive, inhumane detention, we need to adopt community-based alternatives while people wait for their day in court. Many of these practices are effective while costing exponentially less, a fact that has been confirmed by the Department of Homeland Security itself. But even these numbers speak only to the cost to taxpayers. They don't include the immeasurable costs paid every day by the detained, their families, and our communities. The policy of extended detention for all individuals, regardless of flight risk or history of behavior, tears families apart without providing any benefit to our communities. We have a lot to do, but I am inspired to know that so many of my fellow Minnesotans are fighting for the great American tradition of opening our doors to people who are fleeing violence and chaos in hopes of a better life. Thank you for being here tonight, and I look forward to fighting alongside you for immigration justice. Sincerely, Ilhan Omar.
Thanks for coming, everyone. Oh, I don't think I'm going to be able to talk loud enough. I just wanted to say a few words about next steps. I know that you're all here tonight, but many of us just want to know what else can we do. So in your Facebook invitation tomorrow, we will be sharing a document that has suggestions. Many organizations that need help, need your money, need your time as a volunteer, and other actions like this that you might want to be aware of. So for those of you, so in a Facebook event, once it's over, you can't see it so readily. You have to go to your past events in your Facebook page to find it, but we will upload pictures and this next steps document for all of you to use in the coming weeks and years. Thanks.
Thank you, everyone. Sue, thank you so much for coming to my office and asking me to do this. We will continue this journey together. Thank you very much for being here tonight. Go home, do the work, continue to be an activist, and make sure that you take everything you brought with you. Please. Thank you so much.
Shine it as we shut this down. I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, shine it as we shut this down. I'm gonna let it shine. Shine it as we shut it down. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. I said, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All in my hood, all in my hood, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, all in my hood, I'm gonna let it shine. In my neighborhood, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. I won't let ice blow it out. I'm gonna let it shine. No, I won't let ice blow it out. I'm gonna let it shine. I won't let ice blow it out. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Won't let oppression blow it out. I won't let oppression blow it out. I'm gonna let it shine. No, I won't let oppression blow it out. I'm gonna let it shine. I won't let oppression blow it out. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. This big light of mine. This big light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. I said this big light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. This big light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. 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 We are the million. Now I'm like lost here. We are the million artist movement. Let me tell you what we're all about. We're about black liberation without intimidation. intimidation, and we sure do need it now. What do we need now? Liberation, why? 'Cause white supremacy kills. How we gonna get it? We listen, we learn, we study, and we struggle. Where? At the nexus of art and politics. Ooh. Black, brown, indigenous artists, and folks who will fight for the cause. Because we are the Million Artists Movement. Let me tell you what we're all about. We're about black liberation without intimidation, and we sure do need it now. Oh yeah, we sure do need it now. Oh yeah, we sure do need it now.